Class 12th, subject physics, 12th chapter, electromagnetic induction. Let us see the introduction of this chapter. The phenomenon of production of electric current or EMF in a closed circuit or a coil when subjected to a time varying magnetic field is called as electromagnetic induction. The phenomenon of production of electric current or EMF in a closed circuit or a coil when subjected to the time varying magnetic field is called as the electromagnetic induction. Now let us see Faraday's experimental observations. So related with this electromagnetic induction, experiment was carried on by Faraday with the help of a magnet consisting of two poles N and S and a coil connected to a sensitive galvanometer. When this magnet and coil are kept close to each other and there is relative motion between the magnet and the coil, that is, either that magnet will be moved towards or away from the coil, and in the second case the coil will be moved towards or away from the magnet. And therefore this experimental setup consists of a bar magnet approaching or receding a closed circuit containing a coil and the galvanometer. Now let us see some of the observations of this experiment. First observation: when the magnet is moved towards the closed circuit, that is coil, it produces a current in the coil, and this current is called as the induced current. Second observation is when the magnet is taken away from the closed circuit, that is coil, again a current is produced in the coil, but the direction of the current is in the opposite direction to that of first observation. Then third observation is if instead of magnet the coil is moved towards the magnet or away from the magnet, again an induced current is produced in the coil. Fourth observation is if the polarity of approaching or receding magnet is changed, that is, if in this case S is facing the coil, instead of that if N is facing the coil, that is the polarity of the approaching or receding magnet is changed, then the direction of induced current in the coil will also get changed, that is reverse. Fifth observation is the magnitude of induced current depends upon the relative speed of the coil with respect to the magnet. Similarly, the magnitude of induced current will depend upon the number of turns of the coil. So this number of turns will also decide the magnitude of the induced current. Similarly, sixth observation is the induced current exists so long as there is a relative motion between the coil and the magnet. So the induced current will be present only for that instant for which there is relative motion between the coil and the magnet. Seventh observation is that instead of a magnet and a coil, that is closed circuit, if two coils are kept close to each other with their planes facing each other, it will also produce the similar effects. And therefore, let us consider the next experiment in which two coils with their planes facing each other. So now let us consider two coils, coil 1 and coil 2, which are placed in such a way that their planes are facing each other. So the coil 1 is connected to a series combination of rheostat RH, a source of EMF that is battery B, and a key K. Similarly, the second coil will be connected to a sensitive galvanometer, and therefore, if you consider this experimental arrangement, then again some of the conclusions will be drawn with the help of this two coil experiment. The coil which is connected to the source of EMF, that is battery, is called as primary coil, that is coil 1 is called as primary coil, and the other coil which is connected to the galvanometer is called as secondary coil. The observations of this experiment again are as follows. So what are these observations? When there is make or break of the circuit, that is on or off of the circuit in the primary coil, a small deflection is shown in the galvanometer. When the circuit is closed or broken, the directions of deflection in the galvanometer are opposite to each other. That means when that galvanometer is showing deflection towards right during closed circuit, then while breaking that circuit, the direction of deflection shown by the galvanometer will be towards left. Second observation is that when there is a relative motion between the two coils, an induced current is produced in the secondary coil so long as there is relative motion. Similarly, third observation will be when the current in the primary coil is changed with the help of rheostat RH, a deflection is produced in the galvanometer. This induced current is produced in the secondary. The deflection of the galvanometer will show the direction of current, and thus the induced current is produced in the secondary coil. Then the direction of induced current or EMF is reverse if there is increase or decrease in the magnetic field. The magnetic field is produced in the secondary coil due to the change in current in the primary coil. So these are some of the observations related with this two coils experiment. And now let us see Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. There are two laws, that is first law and second law, related with this electromagnetic induction. Faraday's first law will be stated as whenever there is change in magnetic flux in a closed circuit, an induced EMF is produced in the circuit. Whenever there is a change in magnetic flux in a closed circuit, an induced EMF is produced in that circuit. So this Faraday's first law gives only the reason or cause of the induced EMF, and that cause is there is change in magnetic flux in that closed circuit, and so that an induced EMF is produced in that circuit. Now let us see second law, which gives us the magnitude of induced EMF. And according to this second law, the magnitude of induced EMF produced in the circuit, the magnitude of induced EMF produced in the circuit is directly proportional to rate of change of magnetic flux linked with that circuit. The magnitude of induced EMF produced in the circuit is directly proportional to the rate of change of magnetic flux linked with the circuit. In this way, this law gives the magnitude of induced EMF. If suppose phi represents the magnetic flux linked with the coil at any instant of time t, then the induced EMF in that coil is given as, according to second law, induced EMF E is proportional to rate of change of magnetic flux, that is d phi by dt. E is proportional to d phi by dt. Therefore, we can write E equal to K into d phi by dt, where K is constant of proportionality. So E is equal to K d phi by dt. Now, if induced EMF E, magnetic flux phi and time t are measured in the same system of units, if all these three quantities are measured in same system of units, then the value of K, that is proportionality constant, is taken as 1, and therefore we can write E is equal to d phi by dt as K equal to 1, equation number 1. So this will give us the magnitude of induced EMF is equal to rate of change of magnetic flux. Now, if we combine this second law with the first law, so combining this law with the first law, we can write E is equal to minus d phi by dt. That is, the magnitude of induced EMF will be in the opposite direction to that of rate of change of magnetic flux. So this equation number 2 will give the correct mathematical statement for Faraday's second law. Now suppose if phi dash is the magnetic flux linked with single coil, that is single turn of that coil, if phi dash is the magnetic flux linked with this single turn of that coil, then the total magnetic flux phi for a coil having n number of turns will be given as phi equal to n phi dash. So this phi dash represents the magnetic flux linked with the single turn of the coil, only one turn of the coil. Then for n number of turns of that coil, the total magnetic flux phi will be equal to n phi dash. And then in this case, we can write the EMF induced E will be equal to minus n d phi dash by dt, equation number 3. So this equation number 3 represents that the EMF is equal to, the induced EMF is equal to the rate at which the magnetic flux through a conducting circuit is changing. Hence, it is also called as the flux rate. So d phi dash by dt will be also called as the flux rate. In SI units, the EMF E is measured in terms of volt, and d phi by dt will be measured in terms of Weber per second. So for this EMF E, the SI unit will be volt, and for this d phi by dt, SI unit will be Weber per second. So like this, these two laws of electromagnetic induction given by Faraday will be stated.